Council meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Council members Costello.
Here.
Jamison.
Here.
Knudsen. Here. Litz.
Here.
Staggers.
Present.
Anderson.
Here.
Benega.
Here.
Brown.
Here.
We have a quorum present for tonight's meeting. Tonight will be led in the invocation by Pastor Nate from First Lutheran Church here in Sioux Falls, and after the invocation, we'd have the Pledge of Allegiance. So at this time, I ask everyone to please rise.
Thank you for the invitation to be with you tonight. I'm a little nervous being next to our mayor, Dave Manson. I'm not so nervous when I give communion to him at First Lutheran Church, but for some reason I'm a little nervous here tonight. But thank you indeed for this invitation. We are indeed close neighbors here with a city council. And please know that our congregation of First Lutheran Church prays for all of you and give thanks to God for the public vocation. Our city is blessed with your leadership and your service. So let us pray. Loving God, it is your will that all people may live in safety and peace. You have placed us in a diverse human family, and you generously provide for all our needs. We receive all these gifts and the life-giving relationships of family, neighbors, citizens, and friends with thankful hearts. You have also placed us in cities and have commanded us to seek the common good, to care for the poor and the hungry. We give you thanks for all those who in different capacities use their gifts, their leadership, and their wisdom to serve our city of Sioux Falls. Tonight we pray your blessing upon the deliberations of our city council so that their decisions may serve the common good and make possible the ongoing progress and prosperity of our city. This we pray in the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, the perfect communion and the perfect community. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have several presentations tonight. The first one is a proclamation for Motorcycle Safety and Awareness Month. And so, Don Heave, I'd ask you to... Don here? Okay, we'll just go and then we'll... It says, whereas the motorcycle has been an important part of recreation, transportation, and tourism in South Dakota, and whereas the motorcycle has contributed to governmental activities nationally as well as locally, both in wartime and in peacetime, whereas motorcycle ownership has increased from 500,000 to over 5 million in the United States today, and whereas a matter of safety, it is necessary to develop skills and awareness of proper habits to handle these vehicles on our highways, whereas it is important the citizens of our state be aware of motorcycles on the highways and recognize the importance of sharing the roadway, whereas motorists should have a special awareness of the vulnerability of motorcyclists, whereas education and safe riding habits are worthy of special recognition, and South Dakota is one of the 4 safest states for riding motorcycles in the United States, whereas motorcycle safety and awareness weeks and months have been proclaimed in the states throughout the nation, whereas in the month of May, there's an annual renewal of motorcycling enthusiasm. Now, therefore, I, Dave Munson, Mayor of the City of Sioux Falls, do hereby proclaim May 2010 as Motorcycle Safety and Awareness Month in Sioux Falls. And then we have one for National Volunteer Week. And Sarah, come on up. Somebody else coming up with you, Sarah? Okay. Come on up. The proclamation reads, whereas every community member can effect positive change with any volunteer action, no matter how big or how small, and in Sioux Falls, 65,000 volunteers contribute $123.8 million of service, whereas volunteers can connect with local community service opportunities through hundreds of community service organizations like volunteer centers, whereas millions of volunteers working in their communities utilize their time and talent daily to make a real difference in the lives of children, adults, and the elderly. Whereas during this week, all over the nation, service projects will be performed and volunteers recognized for their commitment to service. Whereas the giving of oneself in service to another empowers the giver and the recipient. Whereas experience teaches us that government by itself cannot solve all of our nation's social problems. Whereas our country's volunteer force, which is over 64 million people, is a great treasure. Whereas volunteers are vital to our future as a caring and productive nation. Now, therefore, I, Dave Munson, Mayor of the City of Sioux Falls, do hereby proclaim April 18th through April 24th, 2010 as National Volunteer Week in Sioux Falls, and I urge all citizens to volunteer and support celebrating people in action in our community. Now we have some recognition awards for the Mayor's Beautification Awards for 2009 and 2010. In the 1990s, a community planning initiative called Sioux Falls Tomorrow provided a forum to discuss ways and means for community beautification. In June 1997, Dr. Thomas Killian assembled a board of 7 volunteer members, and Sioux Falls Beautiful was born. In March 1999, it became a private, nonprofit corporation. Sioux Falls Beautiful has a vision that Sioux Falls be the most attractive place possible to live and work. Sioux Falls Beautiful's mission is to beautify and improve the outdoor environment of all areas of the community, enhance the landscape of the city through the creation of attractive new and existing public sites and spaces, promote the liberal use of color and light in public places, and encourage attractive plantings and green areas. Sioux Falls Beautiful has been involved with the development of the Mary Jo Wagner Arboretum in Arrowhead Park and with various tree plantings within the city. The group has also offered to help Pettigrew Heights and Whittier neighborhoods with their green and beautification efforts. Sioux Falls Beautiful invites you to check out their website at www.siouxfallsbeautiful.com. Sioux Falls Beautiful, along with myself, want to encourage Sioux Falls residents of all ages to put forth green efforts to beautify our city so that Sioux Falls continues to be the most attractive place possible to live and work. And at this time, we have 3 mayoral beautification awards that are to be presented here. And the first one is for Marion Larson, if you want to come up. And it's the Mayoral Beautification Award for Homes and Gardens for 2009 and 2010. In recognition of her knowledge and practice as a gardener in taking great care of the soil, water, and using site-appropriate plants. The beauty that results from her efforts is a bonus. Gardening connects people, and one can tell a lot about a community by looking at both the public and private gardens. Thank you very much, Marion, for making Sioux Falls beautiful. The next one I'd invite up is Jeff Scherschlick to come on up. And Jeff Scherschlick's Mayoral Beautification Award for Business and/or Public Space 2009-2010 is in recognition for the passion and leadership he displays toward the nature conservation in our environment. His involvement in greening a commercial building led him to focus on the beautification of a former industrial site and bring a bit of our natural prairie landscape to downtown. He is proud to serve on the boards of the Mary Jo Wagner Arboretum and the South Dakota Game, Fish, and Parks. Thank you, Jeff, for making Sioux Falls beautiful. And the other one we'd like to invite up is Bruce Eide. Bruce Eide has the Mayoral Beautification Award for Community Leadership 2009-2010 and is in recognition of his great idea and the financial contribution to make it a reality. He was instrumental in transforming an empty space at the Louise Avenue I-229 interchange into an attractive entrance to our city. The planting of native trees and complementary landscaping have enhanced this natural area into a pleasing space we hope to emulate throughout our city's corridors. Thank you, Bruce, for making Sioux Falls beautiful. Okay. We'll get started. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I so move Knutson.
Knutson moves. Is there a second?
Second, Anderson.
Anderson seconds. Further motions, comments? All in favor of approving the consent agenda, vote aye. Those opposed, no.
Councilmembers Costello,
Yes.
Jamison,
Yes.
Knutson,
Yes.
Litz,
Yes.
Staggers,
Yes.
Anderson,
Yes.
Benega,
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
That motion prevailed 8-0. The consent agenda has been approved. Is there a motion to approve the regular agenda?
So moved, Litz.
Let's move. Second.
Second, Anderson.
Anderson seconds. Are there further motions? I see none, so all in favor of approving the regular agenda will vote yes, those opposed no.
Councilmembers Costello,
Yes.
Jamison,
Yes.
Knutson,
Yes.
Litz,
Yes.
Staggers,
Yes.
Anderson,
Yes.
Benega,
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
All members present have voted. The regular agenda has been approved 8-0. This is the time that we set aside a period of 5 minutes for anyone wishing to address the council, and we just ask that they give their name if they want to address the council. So come forward and just give us your name and 5 minutes.
I'm John Schwartz. I've been a developer and other things in several communities around the nation. During Hurricane Katrina, I was able to help with relief there. We rebuilt over 600 homes. I represented 5 national relief organizations there also. John, I want to do my microphone. Okay. You want me to say everything in the mic?
Yeah, can we just hand that out? We just pass them down, John, if you would, and then just...
Yeah, we'll hand them out.
Okay.
You got a competent assistant there, too.
There, yeah.
They're all staff.
I've worked in several communities throughout the nation to assist communities in development and furthering their communities. I arrived in Pascagoula, Mississippi 8 weeks before Hurricane Katrina arrived, and as you all know, there was quite a devastation there, and I did some things to assist that community. We gave away well over $100 million in supplies and goods to individuals. We went through 1 to 8 truckloads of items per day. We were feeding up to 5,000 people a day, doing all kinds of things for the community. My desire here in Sioux Falls is to do the same. We have developed a plan for a new stadium for Sioux Falls that would entail I've been working on this development actually for 10 years. I used to be in real estate development. I was in the top 1% of real estate agents in the nation. Developed quite a few different things in communities. And the thing that I wanted to do for Sioux Falls is the event center's proposals that I've seen in the past don't really work well with, if you talk to most developers and things like that, they will say that within that document that I've included for you, it states things like, most places that are developed, if they are developed to include hotels, businesses, and other restaurants and accommodations, Most of those restaurants and businesses want to be on an interstate location. And I think that the stadiums that have been proposed in the past seat about 12 to 15,000, if I'm correct. And I've read through all the prospectuses and reports that have been produced by the city and through independent institutions for the city. And after reading through those, I see that there's quite a few lackings in those proposals. I think that Sioux Falls needs something larger. The stadium that I've proposed would seat 40,000 instead of 12,000. It would cost 1/2 the amount that the current stadium would, and the reason being is because we would be building down into the ground instead of above. The reason that it's cheaper to build down into the ground instead of above the ground is because to put in a basement, how much is it? Does anyone know? How much it costs to put in a basement for a house? Does someone know?
12 grand.
How much?
12 grand.
12 grand. How much does it cost to build the upstairs?
Another 25.
How much?
Another 25 to frame it in.
No, I mean for the whole upstairs to complete it.
Depends on what size it is for 12 grand.
About 100,000.
Let's not get into that.
So it's about 5 times the cost. The issue is this, is it's cheaper to build down than up, isn't it? So the issue becomes if you build down in the ground, similar to the Fargo Dome, you get a cheaper facility, but you can get more. You get more for your money. So the issue is the locations that have been chosen in the past, whether a downtown location or at the current stadium location, aren't good for developers. There's no developer that I know that wants to support those locations. There is no individual that I know that wants to support those locations other than the task force. I've not heard of anyone that supports them any greater than those individuals. I presented this presentation to the task force last year. They said they wanted the city to own the next stadium. Currently, the city is losing approximately $6 million on the current stadium and convention center. I want this stadium and convention center to be privately owned. We can do multiple events at once. We can do 200 acres. It'll be a 400-acre development, so it'll allow us to do multiple events on the facility site. It'll also allow us to do Jazz Fest, Life Light, and other events like that. I've talked to leaders of several groups that are hosting large events in the community, and they're in favor of this type of location. The location can be located in about 3 or 4 different places in Sioux Falls, still being within the city limits, and allowing it to only cost $91 million to the taxpayers instead of the cost of $170 million. It allows for ease of access with parking and other issues. I don't know if my 5 minutes are up. Are they?
Well, you got about 30, 40 seconds to go.
Any questions?
Thank you for coming down, John.
Sure. I appreciate it, and I've presented it at this point, and later on we'll discuss it further. I'm not sure who's changing on the city council. I know you guys went through a lot of work to get here, so I appreciate your consideration.
Okay, thank you very much for coming down. Appreciate it.
My phone number's on there if you have any questions.
Okay, thank you. Okay, let's start with item number 19 and go through them all.
New 2010 retail wine license for Tri-State Gaming Full House Casino to be operated at 5005 West 12th Street, including video lottery terminals placed with existing retail malt beverage license. 20, transfer of a 2009-10 retail malt beverage license from Hando Inc. Offsite Casino, 904 South Cliff Avenue to Sim Enterprise Inc. Jay's Wild Casino to be operated at 904 South Cliff Avenue, including video lottery terminals with the conditional use permit. 2010-0205 being approved on 3/3 of 10. 21, transfer of a 2009-10 retail malt beverage license from the Sioux Falls Canaries Professional Baseball Club, LLC, Sioux Falls Canaries, 1001 Northwest Avenue, to Ovations Food Services, LP, Sioux Falls Pheasants Baseball Club, to be operated at 1001 Northwest Avenue. 22, transfer of a 2010 retail wine license from the Sioux Falls Canaries Professional Baseball Club, LLC, Sioux Falls Canaries, 1001 Northwest Avenue, to Ovations Food Services, LP, Sioux Falls Pheasants Baseball Club, to be operated at 1001 Northwest Avenue. 23, special one-day liquor license request for Ovation Food Services, LP, Sioux Falls Pheasants Baseball Club, to be operated at 1001 Northwest Avenue, in the Tiki Bar and Suites for the 2010 home season games and for the South Dakota Amateur Baseball Tourney to be held August 4th through 15th, 2010. 24, special one-day liquor license for Bakes Liquor, Inc. to be operated at the Old Courthouse Museum, 200 West 6th Street on May 15th, 2010 for a wedding reception. 25, special one-day liquor license request for Washington Pavilion Management, Inc., Washington Pavilion of Arts and Science, 301 South Main Avenue on June 25th through the 26th, 2010 for class reunions. 26, special one-day wine and special one-day off-sale wine licenses for the South Dakota Wine Growers Association to be operated at the Sertoma Butterfly House, 4320 South Oxbow Avenue on April 29th, 2010 for a reception. 27, special one-day malt beverage and special one-day wine license for the Sioux Falls Jazz and Blues Society to be operated at Yankton Trail Park, 3901 South Minnesota Avenue on July 15th through 17th, 2010 for the Jazz Fest. 28, special one-day malt beverage and special one-day wine licenses for the Sioux Falls Area Community Foundation to be operated at Salmons Financial Center, 1 Salmons Plaza on April 29th, 2010 for the SFACF fundraising event. 29, special one-day malt beverage and special one-day wine licenses for Sisters of the Presentation of the Blessed Virgin Mary to be operated at Falls Park Drive on May 1, 2010 for the Cinco de Mayo celebration. 30, special one-day malt beverage and special one-day wine licenses for Sanford Health Foundation to be operated at the Sanford Research Facility, 2301 East 60th Street North on June 12, 2010 for the 2010 Sanford Children's Gala fundraiser. 31, special one-day malt beverage and special one-day wine licenses for Make-A-Wish Foundation of South Dakota to be operated at the Park Ridge Galleria, 1600 South Western Avenue on April 30th, 2010 for the Park Ridge 55th anniversary celebration.
Mr. Mayor, I'm going to excuse myself.
Okay, be noted that Councilmember Costello will be excused.
All right, thank you, Jamie. Lori Hogshead with the City Attorney's Office for items 19 through 31. You see we have quite a few one-day requests. Spring has arrived, and summer will be here. I can certainly answer any questions you may have on these items.
Any questions of Lori on items 19 through 31? None, thank you, Lori. Others that wish to address the council on items 19 through 31? Anyone wishing to address it? If not, and I see no one come forward. Is there a motion to approve items 19 through 31?
I so move. Knutson.
Knutson moves. Is there a second?
Second, Let's.
Let's second it. All in favor of the motion to approve items 19 through 31 will vote yes. Those opposed will no.
Councilmembers Jamison,
Yes.
Knutson,
Yes.
Litz,
Yes.
Staggers,
Yes.
Anderson,
Yes.
Benega,
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
All members present have voted. Items 19 through 31 have been approved, 7 yes and 1 excused. Item 32.
First reading, an ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, correcting clerical errors in Ordinance 109-09.
Mike Cooper, Planning and Building Services. Ordinance 109-09 was passed last year by the City Council. It was an amendment to our city zoning ordinance that modified provisions for exemptions of what we call a final development plan. We discovered that there were 2 minor clerical errors in that ordinance, which this would correct.
Questions of Mike on item 32. Let's go with 33.
First reading, an ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, rezoning property at 1208 West 28th Street from the RS2 Residential District to the S Institutional District, petition number 2010-0205, and amending the official zoning map of the City of Sioux Falls.
This is a request by Augustana College to change the zoning of a single-family residence that they have now acquired on the north side of 28th Street, east of Grange Avenue, and they're incorporating this into their campus plan development district. They do own quite a bit of property on the north side of 28th Street, and they have been acquiring properties with the intent of using this for future expansion of their campus.
Questions of Mike on item 33. Ken?
Yeah, Mike, on that block, how many other properties do they own?
If we go back to the one that shows all the areas that are in gray are part of their existing campus. So they own just about every one on the north side of 28th Street.
Further
No.
questions?
I guess I'd like to ask one more. Are we going to continue just like one lot at a time there, or?
We have changed the zoning as they've acquired the properties, and we have been talking to them recently about possibly modifying 28th Street. But for now, they're just looking at incorporating those properties into their campus plan development district as they acquire them.
Okay, thank you.
Further questions? 34.
First reading, an ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, rezoning property at 5700 East Red Oak Drive from the RS2 Residential District to the Dolly Farm Village Plan Development District to the RA1 Residential District. Petition number 2010-0207, and amending the official zoning map of the City of Sioux Falls.
This is a petition by TRK Development Incorporated. The property is just under 3 acres in size. It's located north and east of Rosa Parks Elementary School. It's part of the Dolly Farm Village Development Area. And the proposal is to develop this into senior apartments. And so that's the request of changing the zoning from lower density to a higher density for the senior apartments.
Questions of Mike on 34? 35.
First reading, an ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, rezoning property at the northwest corner of South Monticello and West 26th Street from the Berry Plan Development District to the RS2 Residential District. Petition number 2010-0301, and amending the official zoning map of the City of Sioux Falls.
We have 3 items tonight that are being petitioned by Ronning Enterprises, and each one of them involves a request by the developer to modify the zoning from twin homes and fourplexes to single-family. And this is typical of Ronning as far as looking at what the market is within each of these particular development areas. This item is in the Discovery Park Edition, adjacent to West 26th Street, and it's just over 2.3 acres in size. And by this zoning, it would expand approximately 9 single-family lots for future development.
Questions of Mike on 35? 36.
First reading, an ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, rezoning property at the northeast corner of South Dubuque Avenue and East 41st Street from the RD Residential District to the RS2 Residential District. Petition number 2010-0302, and amending the official zoning map of the City of Sioux Falls.
This is a Ronning Enterprises petition of just under 6 acres of land area along 41st Street. This is part of the Manifold Acres subdivision. And again, this was originally approved for twin homes or fourplexes, and now they are requesting this to be changed to single family, and this would provide for approximately 18 lots.
Questions of Mike on item 36? 37.
First reading, an ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, a major amendment, petition number 2010-0303 to Chapter 15.45.070, Plan Development Districts at South Bonson Avenue and East 57th Street, allowing changes in land use as reflected in the revised sub-area regulations, and amending the official zoning map of the City of Sioux Falls.
This is a petition to modify a portion of the Summerhill South development, which is also Ronning Enterprises. And this is north of 57th Street, east of Bonson Avenue. This would provide for approximately 33 additional single-family lots for future development.
Questions of Mike on 37? 38.
First reading, an ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, rezoning property at 6101 East 49th Street from the S Institutional District to the RD Residential District and the RC Recreation Conservation District, petition number 2010-0305, and amending the official zoning map of the City of Sioux Falls.
This is a petition by Eastside Baptist Church, which is currently under construction at this site. There's approximately 24 acres of land that they have, and this is zoning just to reflect the uses that are there or will be there. Approximately 16 acres for the church and future expansion, and then the balance of the property for recreation conservation as a major drainage way on the south side of the property.
Questions of Mike on item number 38? Go ahead.
Mike, how is this going to affect the natural drainage over in that area?
This will actually provide for the drainage that's in that area. This has been engineered by the church as well as the city engineering staff. So this will provide for the needed drainage for this particular area.
It's a pretty low area that they're building in.
Okay, questions 38? Let's go 39.
First reading, an ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, a major amendment, petition number 2010-0307 to Chapter 15.45.070, Plan Development Districts at 1030 North Minnesota Avenue, allowing changes in land use as reflected in the revised sub-area regulations and amending the official zoning map of the City of Sioux Falls.
There's an existing strip mall along North Minnesota Avenue on the east side between Brookings and McClellan Streets. And one of the proposed uses would be for a Munchies convenience store. And the owners of the Munchies are the petitioners in this case, and they would like to add to the allowable land uses in this area off-sale alcohol. And so that's what this amendment is being requested for. They would still go through the final approval as well as for the licensing. And at this point, they have had neighborhood input, but we have not received any negative feedback from neighbors, at least as of this point, on this request.
Question, Mike, on item number 39.
Mike, how close to that is to Hawthorne Elementary?
1, 2,
Let's see if we can, I don't
5
think we have that.
5
on there.
blocks?
at least 5.
Okay.
You got to go.
Yeah, it's-
4, 5.
I'll get you an exact-
6 or 7.
Yeah, it's over a half a mile.
Oh, okay, thank you. Mayor? Can you go back to the slide where, okay. Okay, now, on this here, Mike, exactly where are they going to be located?
Steve will circle. They're going to go within the existing strip mall,
So they'll be
not
in
in the
the,
middle of the building.
so, I guess, I'm just trying to get, they're going to be on the west side of Minnesota then?
East
or
side.
East side?
Yep, east side of Minnesota Avenue.
Okay, because we already have the shopping cart there, we already have a liquor store right there, too?
Yeah, we have, on that map, if we can go to the other exhibit, Steve, we've included all the existing uses. Across to the west side is a Lucky Strike Casino, shopping cart, and then on the north side of Brookings Street is the Skyway Liquor. So we've identified all the current licenses within the vicinity of this, just so you have that information.
Further questions of Mike on, what are we on, 39? Okay, let's go to 40.
First reading, an ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, rezoning property at 1816 South Summit Avenue from the RS2 Residential District to the O Office District, petition number 2010-0309, and amending the official zoning map of the City of Sioux Falls.
The petitioners in this case is the Orthotic and Prosthetic Specialties Incorporated. They have an existing medical office on the southeast corner of 26th and Summit Avenue. This is a building that's been there for many, many years. It actually was the original location of Spitznagel Architects. And on the north side of the building, there's a small parking area. They would like to expand their office building to the north, and so they would be losing some of their off-street parking spaces. They have acquired the existing residence directly to the south, and they are proposing to use that for additional off-street parking. And so the petition that's being brought forward for this would be to change that house from residential to office zoning.
Questions of Mike on item 40? Item 41.
First reading, an ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, rezoning property at South Minnesota Avenue and West 85th Street from the RA1 Residential District to the RC Recreation Conservation District, petition number 2010-0310, and amending the official zoning map of the City of Sioux Falls.
This is a petition by Treecom Properties, the developer of Garden Village 2 Edition. This is just under 2 acres. This is in the area just to the west of Landscape Garden Center. And as part of their development plan, they've identified a specific area for the drainage that would be needed to serve this future development. And this is the first stage of modifying the zoning to provide for that, as well as there'll be other uses coming forward in the future. On the west side of this drainage is future multifamily, and on the east side is future office development.
Questions of Mike on item number 41? 42.
First reading, an ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, amending the revised ordinances of the city by revising Section 43-10, transit, paratransit, and demand response fares as found in Chapter 43, Vehicles for Hire.
Deborah Gaikowski, Transit Planner in the Planning Office. This includes some changes, some additions, and a few housekeeping items. First of all, Sioux Falls Transit's name has been changed to Sioux Area Metro, so we've made that modification on here. Transit Plus is an old service from several years ago, so we have taken that off, and we've added a demand response category. As part of this, we'd like to add some fare options for our passengers. First of all, we have always had a discounted rate for the elderly, but we'd like to change that from age 60 to age 65 and up to be eligible. Also, we'd like to add a one-day pass, which would be a $3 rate. And then, of course, we'd have the half price for the elderly and the disabled. We'd also like to add a one-week pass at $10 and then a half price for the elderly and the disabled. The homeless bus pass program has been changed to the Pass It On program for quite some time now, so we're making that change in here as well. Paratransit, later in this agenda, we've got a resolution coming before you, so we've made some changes that relate to that resolution. Any questions?
Questions of Deborah on 42? Seeing none. Is there a motion to set the hearing date for the second reading for May 3rd for items 32 to 42?
So moved, Jamison.
Jameson moves. Is there a second?
Second, Litz.
Litz seconds. Further comments on the motion? All in favor of the motion to set the hearing date for May 3rd for items 32 through 42 will vote yes. Those opposed, no.
Councilmembers Costello,
Yes.
Jamison,
Yes.
Knutson,
Yes.
Litz,
Yes.
Staggers,
Yes.
Anderson,
Yes.
Benega,
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
That motion prevails 8-0. We have with us tonight Scout Troop 371 from Gloria Day Lutheran Church here in Sioux Falls. Just like to welcome you here and thank you for coming down and watching the City Council in action. Okay, let's move to 43.
A resolution approving a sculpture on city property, Dakota Wind.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council members. My name is Russ Sorensen with the City Planning Office, representing the next two agenda items. Before you this evening is a resolution to approve the placement of a sculpture known as Dakota Wind on city property at the Sioux Falls Convention Center. With me this evening is Mr. Scott Cavanaugh, who's the General Manager for Global Spectrum. And Sioux Falls Visual Arts Commission and the Arena Convention Center and Entertainment Board encourages and recommends outdoor exhibit of public art in our community. Dakota Wind is this bronze sculpture by Nebraska artist Martha Pettigrew and depicts a Native American woman in a robe. The sculpture measures approximately 44 inches in height and 24 inches in width and 24 inches in length, and will be placed on a 3-foot-high quartzite pedestal at the main front east entrance to the Sioux Falls Convention Center. The sculpture would be leased by a private business for up to 1 year and is not included to be given to the city. Various commissions and boards, including the Sioux Falls Visual Arts Commission and the Arena Convention and Entertainment Board, have all unanimously and respectfully recommend approval of this placement. That concludes staff's report, unless there are questions.
Thanks, Russ. Questions of Russ on item number 43? Others that wish to address the council on item number 43? Is there a motion to approve?
So moved, Litz.
I'll second that motion.
Let's
Knutson.
move. Knutson seconds. Further comments on the motion to approve? All in favor of approving the resolution, vote yes. Those opposed, no.
Councilmembers Costello,
Yes.
Jamison,
Yes.
Knutson,
Yes.
Litz,
Yes.
Staggers,
Yes.
Anderson,
Yes.
Benega,
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
All members present have voted. Item 43 has been approved 8-0. Item 44.
A resolution of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, approving the placement of a sculpture on city property, Bronze Eagle.
Good evening. Again, my name is Russ Sorensen with the City Planning Office, representing this item. Before you this evening is a resolution to approve a placement of sculpture known as Bronze Eagle on city property at Veterans Memorial Park. With me this evening is Don Kearney, Director of Parks and Recreation. The Sioux Falls Visual Arts Commission and the Parks and Recreation Board encourages and recommends outdoor exhibitions of public art in our community. Bronze Eagle is a bronze sculpture by Italian artist Franco Omi that depicts a soaring eagle figure and measures approximately 72 inches in height, 61 inches in width, and we prominently displayed at the Sioux Falls Veterans Memorial Park.
Sculpture would be placed on a pedestal and would be placed at the north drop-off entrance from Waltz Avenue. The sculpture would be gifted to the city by Les and Cheryl Huddleston family. There would be an informational plaque acknowledging the donor family. Various commissions and boards, including the Visual Arts Commission and the Parks and Recreation Board and the Veterans Memorial Park Subcommittee boards, have all endorsed this proposal for sculpture placement at our Veterans Memorial Park. That concludes our presentation, unless you have questions.
Thank you, Russ. Go ahead.
If I could just add that my father loves this park, and I love this park as well, but I want to make sure that this picture down here with Don Kearney with the eagle, it's not going to be Don, right? It'll be the eagle? Are we sure that
It's
Don won't
definitely
be
the
bronze?
eagle, a bronze eagle.
All right. Okay.
Further questions? Others that wish to address the council on item number 44? Now, is there a motion to approve?
So move. Benninger.
Benninger moves. Who's second?
Second, let's.
Litz seconds. Further comments? All in favor of that motion, vote yes. Those opposed, no.
Councilmembers Costello,
Yes.
Jamison,
Yes.
Knutson,
Yes.
Litz,
Yes.
Staggers,
Yes.
Anderson,
Yes.
Benega,
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
All members present have voted. Item 44 has been approved 8-0. Item 45.
A resolution modifying Sioux Area Metro Paratransit service hours and creating a demand response evening bus service.
Deborah Gaikowski, Transit Planner from the Planning Office. This resolution would reduce paratransit service hours from 10 p.m. to 8 p.m., but it would also introduce a demand response evening bus service between those same hours of 8 and 10 p.m. The demand response bus service would be available to everyone, both the disabled and the general public. The rates would stay the same as they are right now for the evening paratransit service. All the policies and procedures would also stay the same. So the main benefit would be offering up a transportation option for the general public along with the people with disabilities.
Questions of Deborah on item number 45? Others that wish to address the council on item 45? Motion to approve.
So move, Anderson.
Anderson moves. Is there a second?
Second, Benninger.
Benega seconds. Are there comments on that motion? I see none, so all in favor, vote yes. Those opposed, no.
Councilmembers Costello,
Yes.
Jamison,
Yes.
Knutson,
Yes.
Litz,
Yes.
Staggers,
Yes.
Anderson,
Yes.
Benega,
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
All members present have voted. Item 45 has been approved 8-0. Item 46.
A resolution declaring the results of the City of Sioux Falls /School Board election held on the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota on Tuesday, the 13th day of April, 2010.
Deborah Owen, City Clerk, Chief of Council Operations, and may it please the Council and the members of the public. The City of Sioux Falls held a regular election on April 13th of 2010. The vote totals from the optical scanners located at the Minnehaha County Admin Building have been verified and are before you on our electronic agenda. As well as those who are listening at home, those results can be found at the city's website at siouxfalls.org. On Election Day, 29,780 citizens cast their votes of the 92,604 registered voters, which equates to 32.16% of the ballots cast. The candidates of the positions for 1 mayoral position, 2 at-large positions, 1 southeast district position, 1 central district position, all 4-year terms, received the following votes. For the mayor of Sioux Falls, 4-year term, Bill Peterson, 4,015. Vernon Brown, 5,926. J. Pat Costello, 4,829. Kermit L. Stagger, 7,364. Mike Huther, 7,315. Janak Dejada, 156. It is necessary to hold a secondary runoff election as provided by law on Tuesday, April 27th, to be held for the candidates who received the highest number of votes in the mayoral position. Kermit L. Staggers and Mike Huther were the prevailing vote getters and will be on the ballot for April 27th. For the at-large A 4-year term councilmember position, Rex Rolfing, 11,269. Charles Gates, 2,592. Jesus Ramirez, 889. Clara Hart, 5,458. Clarence Koistra, 4,648. For at-large B 4-year term, councilmember councilmember position, James Entenmann, 16,609. Michael Jones, 6,143. For the Central District, 4-year term, councilmember position, Teresa Staley, 1,926. Michelle Erpenbach, 2,466. James Milne, 174. Michael Hemmer, 470. For the Southeast District, 4-year term, councilmember position, Ryan White, 698. Bob Christensen, 2,852. Sue Aguilar, 4,058. In addition, pursuant to the Canvas Board's report, amendments to the Sioux Falls City Charter A through C were approved by the electorate and have received a majority of the affirmative votes cast for said amendments. Charter Amendment A, budget, 67.29% of the vote. Charter Amendment B, Districting Commission, 74.59% of the vote. Charter Amendment C, elections, 61.14% of the vote. There were 5 provisional ballots cast on April 13th. As many of you know, a provisional ballot occurs when a person maintains they are currently registered to vote but are not on any of our polling lists. They then must complete an affirmation form and cast their provisional vote. If after the election that person is found to be registered, the ballot will be counted. If the person is not found to be registered, it will not be counted. Accordingly, 2 of the 5 provisional ballots were counted and were a part of the official canvass in the numbers before you now. It is my recommendation that the council approve the canvass totals before you. Thank you.
Thank you, Deborah. Questions? Anyone else wish to address council on item number 46? Is there a council motion?
I move for approval of item number 46, Knutson.
Knutson moves. Is there a second?
Second, Jamison.
Jameson seconds. Further comments? All in favor of that motion, vote yes. Those opposed, no.
Councilmembers Costello?
Yes.
Jamison?
Yes.
Knutson?
Yes.
Litz?
Yes.
Staggers?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Benega?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Item 46 has been approved 8-0. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So move Anderson.
Benega moves. Your second?
Brown.
Brown seconds. Okay, all in favor? Vote yes. Those opposed, no.
Councilmembers Costello?
Yes.
Jamison?
Yes.
Knutson?
Yes.
Litz?
Yes.
Staggers?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Benega?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
We stand adjourned.